molar conductivity, I was just been saying, molar conductivity is the conductivity offered by an electrolyte which is having a 1 molar, which has a concentration of 1 molar solution of the electrolyte. So now, how do you mathematically represent molar conductivity? Molar conductivity lambda m, molar conductivity lambda m is kappa into 1000. Okay, kappa into 1000 divided by m. Okay, kappa into 1000 divided by m, where what is kappa? Kappa is conductance. Kappa is conductance. So molar conductivity is the conductivity offered by 1 molar solution. Okay. Achha, molar conductivity I have told is lambda m is kappa into 1000 by molarity. Instead of putting this thing, we will write it fully so that there won't be any confusion. So kappa into 1000 by molarity. So kappa is where kappa is the conductance, and m is molarity is, molarity is always measured as molarity, this thing, it is number of moles of the solute, number of moles of the solute in 1000 grams of the solvent. Sorry, number of moles of the solute in 1 liter of the solution. Number of moles of the solute in 1 liter of solution. So kappa into 1000 by molarity is equal to molar conductivity. Similarly, for equivalent conductivity, instead of this we have put m, lambda equivalent is equal to kappa into 1000 by normality. Normality means, that is, normality is 1 equivalent weight of the solute in a liter of solution. This is 1 mole of the solute in a liter of the solution. This is 1 gram equivalent of the solute in a liter of the solution. So K into 1000 divided by molarity, and here this is kappa. K instead of K you can put as kappa into 1000, where again K represents the conductance. Okay, molar conductivity, equivalent conductivity. How this molar conductivity and equivalent molar conductivity and all varies with the dilution. In general, they say in case of strong electrolytes with more for dilution, as and when the dilution becomes more, conductivity also, molar conductivity also increases. And for weak electrolytes, when there is may not be actually weak electrolytes are very easy, don't easily ionize. So if they are in more, so more water is required. So for that also, more the dilution, better will be the conductivity, molar equivalent conductivity. Written as this thing, so equivalent conductivity. Okay. So any doubts so far? So usually we know the mole for molarity, we know the unit as number of moles per liter. Okay, number of moles per liter. So this is about equivalent conductivity and molar conductivity. We can see about the other aspects of conductivity, like conductivity varying with the dilution in a graph. For molar conductivity, equivalent conductivity, and we should know the units for molar conductivity. Units for molar conductivity is Siemens centimeter square and then mole inverse. 1 Siemens is equal to 1 mho or mho centimeter square and mole inverse. And for equivalent conductivity, the unit is, for equivalent conductivity, the unit is Siemens centimeter square and gram equivalent inverse. Okay, we have been studying now about resistance, resistivity, conductance, conductivity. So to avoid confusion, we will make it in a nutshell what is what and what is a unit. Okay, now we know what is resistance. Resistance, you know, is the actually when there is a free flow of electrons from the conductor from one end to other, there is a resistance which is offered, and we know the resistance is measured in ohms. Okay, resistance is R and it is measured in ohms. And what is opposite to resistance is conductance. Okay, so so only I am repeating once again. These terms with a small change or spelling may confuse you. So only I am repeating once again whatever we have learned from the morning or from today's class in electrochemistry. Resistance is measured in ohms. Opposite of resistance is conductance. So that is the unit of this is opposite of ohm, that is mho or ohm inverse. Okay. Is there any confusion? Okay. So now you know resistance and then conductance. So then next thing is what? Resistivity. Resistivity is the resistance offered by unit length of the conductor with the unit area of cross section. Again, for this we know ohm, centimeter or ohm meter is the unit. Okay, so then if it is resistivity, there is going to be conductivity. Okay, conductivity. So conductivity will be what? So opposite of this thing, no? So this is opposite of the thing. So this mho. Okay, mho, ohm inverse we have put as mho. Instead of centimeter, it will be centimeter inverse. Okay, whatever this unit, opposite of this unit. This is ohm, so this is mho, centimeter inverse. So wherever if it is meter, motor inverse. Understood? So this is resistance, this is resistivity, conductance, conductivity. Conductivity is only put as kappa. Instead of mho, we can also write it as Siemens. Okay, 1 mho is equal to 1 Siemens. So the other unit is Siemens. So it can be even Siemens inverse or Siemens meter inverse. Understood? Now coming to molar conductivity. In case if the electrolyte solution is having a strength of 1 molar strength, molar conductivity, then we call this as molar conductivity. So in all these places, resistance, resistivity, conductance, conductivity are all applicable to solid conductors. So now only we are coming to liquid conductors. So molar conductivity, okay, offered by this thing. So this is kappa into 1000 by molarity. And what is equivalent conductivity? Equivalent conductivity is kappa into 1000 by normality. And just now we have seen the units for this. I hope you are able to understand. Since these terms are all little different and the units also are to be understood perfectly, I am repeating it once again. The resistance opposite to resistance is conductance, resistivity opposite to it is conductivity, and then molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity. Now we are seeing about the effect of molar, how the dilution, how the effect of dilution on molar conductance. If there is if the lambda m, that is I said this is lambda m, molar conductivity, and this is lambda equivalent. Okay, lambda m is plotted against molarity. Okay, if lambda m is plotted against molarity, we see the graph is descending down. Okay, graph is coming down. And similarly, if lambda m is plotted against normality, the graph will be like this. We can compare, instead of this thing, same molarity for strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes instead of this thing. So we can take molarity, the same graph for both. The same way will be for normality. So we need not repeat that. So only thing is we can do a small change here. This is for strong electrolytes. This is for weak electrolytes. So instead of molarity, you are plotting against normality also. For the strong electrolytes, it will be like that. Instead of molarity, you are plotting against normality also. So for weak electrolyte, it will be like that. So let us study about strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes, how the molar conductivity, or in case instead of lambda m, it will be lambda equivalent for normality. Okay, here you have to write normality instead of molarity. So as you see the graph, it is coming down for strong electrolytes, and for weak electrolytes also it will be like this. Okay. So what you infer from the graph, from this graph, here molarity will be 0. Slowly molarity is increasing, whereas here conductivity is at a high, whereas this molar conductivity is very high. Slowly the molar conductivity is ends at all. Now we will see another important law concerning this. We also see in the graph on how strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes, how they behave, and how the concentration has a role on the equivalent conductance or molar conductance. Now let us see another important thing related to this conductivity or equivalent molar conductivity. This is Kohlrausch law. As per Kohlrausch law, the molar conductance at infinite dilution is the sum total of the ions present in the electrolyte. The molar conductance at infinite dilution. So molar conductance at infinite dilution is lambda m. Is actually then this is made up of the molar conductance is the sum total of, so lambda m is a sum total of the molar conductance at equivalent dilution of the anion plus molar conductance at infinite dilution. At infinite dilution, how much of anions are present and how much of cations are present, and what is their molar conductance. So this sum total of this becomes the infinite molar dilution or molar conductance at infinite dilution. Molar conductance at infinite solution also can be and then molar conductance at infinite dilution. Okay. So now in case if we have a salt like NaCl, so this will be lambda naught m will be, it is made up of one Na. So one anion and one cation. In case if it is Al2SO4 thrice, so molar conductance at infinite dilution will be, there are two anions, so 2 times, okay, 2 times that of Al3 plus, okay, plus 3 times that of SO4 2 minus. Okay, so number of quantity, that is the sum total of the ions present. So the here 2 ions of Al, here 3, so 3 ions of sulfate. So it will be a sum total of this. Equivalent conductance, molar conductance, Kohlrausch law. So Kohlrausch law has a lot of applicability. Okay, so Kohlrausch law can be used for determining Kohlrausch law can be used for determining the solubility of an electrolyte. So what is the solubility of the electrolyte as per Kohlrausch law? It is kappa into, that is conductance into 1000 divided by lambda m. That is lambda m is infinite molar conductance at infinite dilution. Okay, there are other applications of Kohlrausch law also, where it can be used for measuring the, it is used for measuring the degree of dissociation. It can also be used for measuring the equilibrium constant of dissociation, equilibrium constants of dissociation. Of course, let us see about them.